There we go, I think. Hey! I feel like long time no see, but maybe you've never seen me before. That's a thing. Yeah, this is so funny. I will share with you. Whoa! That's not what I meant to share. Can you tell I haven't done a TikTok live at this time of day before? There we go. Maybe that's a little bit more stable. So, hey, good afternoon. If you're East Coast time, I'm just giving you a time check. It's like 3 p.m. Eastern. If you're another time zone, feel free to do the math. I am trying to capture whatever sunshine I have left to be with you. Hey, Nikki Chang, nice to see you. Happy sun, whatever the day is, okay? It's spectacular Sunday. I love it, Kim. How fun. Farm Girl, nice to see you as well. Let me do this. Here, look. Oh, look, there's the kitchen. Let me see if this is a little bit more stable. All right. So hello. I am showing up. Yes, Mevins live. You know what? Let me tell you. Let me share with you. You are going to see more of me than you may care to. There we go. That's better. This week, okay? You're going to see more of me this week because we may not have TikTok by this time next week. I don't know. I don't even know. What I do know is I'm not going to go down without a fight. Not that I'm fighting. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But while we still have TikTok, oh, hon. Christina Glendale just is getting over pneumonia. My dear, take care of yourself. Okay? What do I want to say? Spreading Sunshine says, I love all the extra Beth. Thank you. Well, you're going to get a lot of it. Hey, user 6242. I am showing up so much this week on TikTok. It's going to be borderline comical, at least for me. But what I realized, and I want to share this idea with you. Okay, I want to share this idea with you, which is, sorry, just trying to get out of the glare. If you knew something was ending, if you knew ahead of time that somebody you loved was going to pass within the week, wouldn't you spend more time with them? Wouldn't you look at the time on your schedule and say, how can I make more time to do this with this person? Wouldn't you clear things off? Farm Girl, you totally can find me on YouTube, but here's my deal. I'm not there yet. So yes, please, oh please, if you want to continue following me, my inference is probably if/when TikTok goes dark, most likely I will be on YouTube. I already have a YouTube channel with over 500 videos on it, and it's easy to upload videos, and I've done YouTube lives like way back in the day, so it's pretty easy. That's probably where you're going to get me. But why rush over there if we can still enjoy the TikTok and all that it benefits, okay? And yes, user 7157, the sun is great. I'm up here in Eastern PA, so I'm waving to you kind of down there, as it were. And if we haven't met before, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered. And if there's one thing you take from this this TikTok live, which will go on for about an hour, just so you know, I tend to do them at top of the hour and for an hour. Yes. And user 1963 says, I don't have and won't get any Meta or X platforms. Moi aussi. Technically, I have Meta platforms, but I'm going to be sunsetting those. And I never liked Twitter to begin with, and FX. So, you know what I mean? Yes, you'll get my emails and YouTube, and there may be something. So, hey, Judy, nice to see you. Yes, I'm gonna try to mix it up a little bit since I'm gonna be doing so many TikTok lives. And here's a coaching lesson. How can you make what you have said you're going to do fun for you? Now, I have, and many people on my mailing list know that I have so many TikTok lives scheduled for this week. Over 20. I usually do 5 a week, if that. Maybe 7 if I do it. I usually do 1 a day. Now I'm showing up multiple times a day. Okay? I will most likely go live on YouTube, of course, because I love doing the lives, but I love doing them on TikTok even better. So I offer to you, I'm going to be here with you hot and heavy for the next week, because why obey in advance, if you know what I mean? Why lament the passing of TikTok when it hasn't even left yet? Now, this does not mean to say that I'm not needing to, that I don't have like a, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I am lamenting the passing of TikTok. I was messaging with somebody that I've never met in real life, but we've met here on TikTok and kind of bonded over some common things. And I have said literally, no kidding, these last 2.5 years that I have been on TikTok have been the best years of my life. And TikTok has a lot to do with that. Okay? So I am lamenting the passing of it, but I am also building a life raft. If this boat is sinking, I'm building a life raft. And if you're interested, there's room for you on it. My life raft is floatable and extendable, and we're going to have a good time. The life raft will be getting on my mailing list. Pretty easy. DestinationDecluttered.com. Sign up for the mailing list, okay? There we go. Oh, user 6242. I highly encourage you to go see the revised live schedule. I sent an email out about it today, this morning around 10 a.m. Eastern, because honestly, this was just an idea I had like earlier today, or this morning, when I woke up despondent and kind of lamenting, actually. That was the word I wrote down. Lamenting the loss of so many things. And I said, okay, I don't like how this feels. What can I do to feel better? And so I did a brain dump. I did a little one side versus the other. I made myself feel better. And then I came up with some actions. And one of my actions was to show up on TikTok a lot more for you, because it feels good to me too, while we can still do it, okay? So do not obey in advance. Do not give up on TikTok until TikTok is gone. But also know that after TikTok is gone, I'll take care of you if you want me to. So what do I do here? New people, what do? I help people with clutter. I'm a decluttering life coach. I do one-on-one coaching, and I do a lot of TikTok lives, or at least I have for the past 2 years or so. So Laura is asking, Beth, that's me, how do I transition my childhood home into my new home now that I live alone? My dad moved out. Interesting. Any way you want it. Any way you want it. That's the way you need it. Any way you want it. Turn it into the home you want. Now, here's the funny thing. I am picturing my childhood home. I know the sun is going to go by in like a hot minute. I am picturing my childhood home, and I would get curious. What do you like about it? What you don't like about it? I can tell you right now that this color wall and this artwork and this furniture and these rugs, none of the stuff in my home now is what I grew up with. So I love that I was able to transform a home into my home. Okay. Laura, to meet my siblings, she says, my siblings still have keepsakes here. My mother passed a few years ago. Okay, first off, if it is officially going to be your home and not their home, now I feel like I'm quoting a Smith song, that I'm not welcome no more. Make a plan with them, but make a plan to get their stuff out of the house. Now, timing is everything with many things, and it may be one of these get them out of here now or play it low and slow. You know the situation better than I do. But what I want you to do is even ask a few of these questions, okay? These are the questions I say to everybody before you start decluttering, so they're somewhat quasi, I say universal, but I don't ask them of people from Mars, you know, like Robalad from Mars. I know that's a deep cut, but my Boston accent's coming in. I'm going to get wacky by the end of the week, I can tell you. Okay? Yes, sunshine. I love it. That's why I'm sitting out here. It's probably going to go away, but I'm going to enjoy it while it's here. Much like TikTok. So, Laura, who's trying to get your familial home into your home, sit down with yourself, maybe not even in that home, because there can be a lot of energy, there can be a lot of thoughts and feelings and talking. Go somewhere that you enjoy, that makes you feel comfortable, and sit down with a notebook and ask yourself these 3 questions. How do I want that home to look? Notice what comes up and write that down. How do I want that home to function? So do I want that dining room to be a dining room, or do I want to turn it into a tiki room, which is what we did here? How do I want it to function? Whatever comes up, write it down. And this is the last one, but the most important one is, how do I want to feel when I am walking around that home? When I am coming home, when I'm coming in the door, when I'm leaving it and locking it up? How do I want to feel in that home? Okay? So Laura, take time. This is what I call, and this is why I call my coaching destination decluttered. Here, let me see if I can do this. All right. This is why I call my coaching destination decluttered. Because those 3 questions help you define your destination, like a road trip. What you are aiming for. This is what I'm going for. This is the look I'm going for. This is the functionality I'm going for. This is the feel I'm going for. When you define that, you can know more, you can know better, and K-N-O-W, you can know better what you're aiming for, and you can put a line between where you are and where you want to be, and that makes a map. If you don't define this, then you start here and you could drive any old where, okay? I hope that best. Yeah, oh, Carla Jane. Let's all give Carla some good vibes. She's helping a friend. Carla is one of my clients, but I met her here on TikTok. She's in Alabama. I'm outside of Philly, but we've connected over clutter. And she is helping a friend whose mom has passed, and that can be tough. That can be tough. So Carla, I sent you some good vibes today. I will continue to do so. We're sorry we missed you at the decluttering parties, but I sent you the dates for the ones in February, and I look forward to chatting you this week's. Okay? So Carla, mwah, hugs. Hugs to you and hugs to your friend. Excuse me. As I asphyxiate myself on my own saliva. Such a class act. Moon Stargazer, I will totally repeat the three questions. How do I want it to look? How do I want it to function? And how do I want it to feel? Oh, okay. So here, Carla Jane. Carla Jane, isn't this wonderful? Well, not wonderful. I mean, it's a shitty situation. But Carla is saying her mom lived in an apartment and they want all her things gone this week. Okay. Carla, I am there with you and your friend. How can we help her with that situation this week? You are not alone and she is not alone. Okay? How can we help her remove that stuff? Okay? Maybe, seriously, I'm just throwing it out there, and I don't have my schedule with me because it's usually in my office. Maybe this week when we meet, maybe we could help her, okay? But know that I am here for you. I'm here for pretty much all of y'all, okay? But notice, you're not alone in struggling with clutter. And many of us, sandwich generation, Gen Xers right here, we will have to deal with our parents' stuff, and we will most likely be helping our friends through this journey too. Okay? Oh, and look at her aunt came in and started shredding pictures. See, everybody has their, okay, there goes the sunshine. Everybody has their own idea. Oh, I feel like I've got a little glow on my head. It's going to last just a minute, but forever and ever. Everybody's got their own idea of how to approach clutter. I do too. My approach is honoring how you feel and working on it at a pace that works for you, whenever possible. Now, sometimes the pace can't be worked for you, okay? So Globetrotter is asking where you are in Alabama. I can't, I can never pronounce the name of your thing. I have it written down. Okay, family did not gel. His family's throwing it out, not giving her any room to keep things. Okay. Carla, what I would say to your friend is, I know it's going to sound tough, but try not to be attached to the things that are already gone. Try not to be attached to anything. Oh my God, that was the yoga block that my mother used. I'm not being, I just saw Pee-wee in the back. He agrees. Trust that your friend, even if she doesn't have anything left from her mom to remember her by physically, that her mom, it lives in her heart. Okay? It can be tough when other people have ideas that don't jibe with yours. Okay? Everybody, think about this. Even if you don't own one stitch of items from somebody, they can still live on in your brain and your heart and your memories and your stories and who knows, the way your nose looks when you get old. So I know it's tough when other people come in and do things without asking you and without permission and without kind of a consensus. So it's just going to make her feel worse if she laments the loss of what is gone. Kind of like the people in LA. Now, I'm not minimizing any of the tragedy, but try to remind yourself of what you do have. Lamenting the stuff that you will not get back does not get it back, and it just makes you feel crappy. Okay? So hugs to your friend, and if she can figure out what she wants, grab it first. It can be, you know what I mean? Get it out of the way. And then know that just because she had to get rid of those things does not mean she's getting rid of her mom. Okay? So notice this. Okay? Uh-huh. Oh, well, there you go. Well, she didn't get along with her either. Okay. Yeah, okay. So no, yeah, there you go, Carla Jane. Thank you. All right. So Jack is saying sandwich generation is real, except I'm a millennial and help out my silent generation grandparents. Yeah. I mean, it's a generational thing. That's why it's a generational, I almost said generational curse. Kind of is a generational curse. It's generational habits. Habits of thinking and feeling and acting a certain way with stuff. I know this myself because I am a product of this, but I am breaking the chain. I am actively doing things so my nieces and nephew do not have to go through my stuff as much or as with the difficulty that I am helping my mother go through stuff. Now, my grandmother, it's interesting. I remember going through my grandmother's house in 1985, and she had lived there all her life. And they pack-ratted so much stuff into that house, it was comical. That was tough. It's probably one of the first forays into that kind of thing that I had. What I offer to you is when you know what you want, it's so much easier to get. And what you want doesn't have to be an item. It can be a thing. You know, like even here back on my wall, see this fork and spoon thing? Those were actually from my husband's parents. My husband grew up with those. I love them because this is what we call like our tiki room. And so I think they're fun. If we didn't have these, would we love or remember Joyce and Bob any less? No. So remind yourself to detach your feelings from an item, and that can help you make a decision about the item itself when it just is an item. You know, it's just a yoga block. Okay? I hope that helps. Now, Cher is saying, for me, ADHD affects tasks. Oh, hell's a poppin'. Yeah, me too. Me too. It runs in my family. What I say to you, though, in all sincerity, is you can't necessarily change how you're wired, but what you can do is build habits that get you the result you want with the way that your brain is wired. I have done that. Now, maybe I have like the recessive gene of ADHD, more so than I think I have it, less than some of my immediate family. However, I know what it feels like. And I have practiced, and I continue to practice, because if I don't practice, I will fall into those all or nothing and, hyper focus and getting in the zone and then distracted all over the place and squirreling and throwing things away and telling myself I can't deal with things. I know what that's like, but I can help you. Even just by telling you, you can change your habits. Okay? All right. So, KOA is asking me, KOA, if I help disabled people declutter. I actually help anybody declutter, but here's my caveats. Here's my way I coach people. I do not go to your house. I am the kind of decluttering life coach that works from my home while you're in your home. So I coach people on Zoom, okay? I coach people on Zoom from across the country. What I coach is the way you think about your stuff and the way that makes you feel. And based on those two things, the way you act with your stuff, whether you hang on to it or you let it go, whether you accumulate and hang on to it, or you can easily let it flow out of your house. Ideally, I'm the person who maybe I'm like a plumber. I unclog the stuff so it easily flows out. I've never thought about that before. Okay. Now, Husk Texan says, I just followed you on your other platforms. Thank you so much. I have seen an uptick. But just to be clear, just to set expectations with people, up until this week, I thought I was going to, if and when TikTok went away, I thought I would continue to show up on Instagram and Facebook, because I have had Facebook and Instagram pages for years. However, things have changed. What has changed is that the owner, the greedy billionaire owner of Facebook, has decided to do away with fact checking, has decided to do away with many things that I truly believe are important. And so I have decided to stage my own one-person protest, and I will be sunsetting my appearance on Facebook and Instagram. Currently, right now, I will not be adding any new content to it. Now, you'll see, actually, I was doing it earlier this week, but as soon as he did that, I was like, oh, F that. F that. No, thank you. So the best place outside of here to follow me is two places. One, the best place at all is going to be the website, my website email mailing list. It's free. I give away good stuff all the time. We have parties. It's wicked fun. I say this because I could say show up for my my YouTube channel. I am totally there right now, and I have no reason to not be there. However, YouTube and email list are going to be your best, kind of dynamic duo. Because email list means regardless of where I go, I could even invite you to a Zoom call. We don't even have to be kind of public. We could all hang out and declutter together. Okay? So just know that if TikTok goes away, I will be other places. As I said earlier today, because I already did one TikTok live, and I'm going to be doing 2 more today. I'm going to be doing so many TikTok lives, y'all are going to be sick of me. And you can tell Carla Jane's in the comments because I just said y'all. Now, Anastasia says, during hurricanes, I found out I didn't need all this stuff. Yes, but it doesn't have to take a hurricane. Please don't wait for a hurricane for you to realize you don't need all this stuff. But it's good that you found that out. Okay. Now, Farm Girl is asking me, why do we get so attached to things? Because we're human. We are, especially clothes. Why do we get attached to clothes? Now, here's an interesting thing from my perspective is I am not particularly attached to clothes. You see me wear the same thing all day, and multiple versions thereof. We get attached to anything because of the story we tell ourselves about that thing. It can be a piece of clothing. It can be a piece of artwork. It can be a Pee Wee Herman doll. It can be whatever. We humans are storytellers, the creative ones anyway. Boring people don't tell stories. Boring people don't get attached to stuff. You and I are different. We tell stories about our things. I could tell you a story. I could give you the docent's walk around this room. I won't bore you with the details. However, I could do it if I chose to. So you have a story about some of your clothes. What I say is get curious about your stories and say, does this story I am telling myself make me feel good or make me feel not so good? Does that story help me get the life I want? Does that story get my closet decluttered? Or does that story add to my clutter and add to whatever is unhelpful in my house, in my thing? Okay? Yeah. Now, detaching from feelings, says user 1963, detaching feelings can be hard with my children's items sometimes. But notice where you gave yourself some lovely wiggle room. Sometimes it can be hard, and it can be hard. But it doesn't have to be hard, and it isn't hard always. It can be easy. It can be not as bad as you think. Okay? Okay, so just notice this. Okay? So user, I just zoomed forward and now I have to zoom back, okay? Because this is the way TikTok is. See, here's a funny thing. We are all lamenting the passing of TikTok, yet it still exists and there's still some things that bug us about it. I bet some of the people that passed whose stuff you're clinging onto had things that bugged you about them too. So just because somebody has passed does not mean they turned into a saint. Okay, I just want to offer that because there are some things. I am totally bummed that TikTok may go away. However, there are some things that irk me about it. Okay, and one of the things that helps me, or that I don't like, is when I try to look at the comments. When I try to look at the comments in chronological order in a nice leisurely fashion, it zoops to the bottom and I have to scroll back. Okay. There we go. User 94101 says, I have a goal of removing a minimum of 5 items I no longer use or need in my home every day. So let me ask you, user 9410, notice my lack first of all. Everybody, lesson learning right here, okay? Watch what I do. I am asking a question, but instead of being judgy about it, using the tone of my voice, I'm going to be curious. Notice the difference, okay? So 9410, I'm curious, have you got your 5 items together for today? If you have, I'm curious, did you put them in like a bag or a box or whatever? Have you done it? If not, you might want to use this time I'm doing a TikTok live to kind of walk around your house and do those 5 items. Just an idea. Notice my lack of judgment. Look at my curiosity, my offering of an idea that may help her get to that goal versus, oh, have you gotten your 5 items yet? Have you done it already? Huh? Notice how judgy that sounds. Doesn't that make you want to flip the bird to somebody when they act like that? Don't do that to other people and don't do it to yourself. Do not judge yourself about what you haven't done. Have some curiosity and compassion for yourself and notice the difference. Okay? Notice the difference. Okay? Now, I'm backing up. Here we go. Anastasia says, clothes instead of doing laundry. I'll go my more. I know I shouldn't. Now I don't know what I even have. Okay, Anastasia, this is one of the, right here. See this thing right here? This is what I call your traffic cop hand. Mine comes up unbidden because my body coaches as much as my mind and my voice do. So what I want to encourage you is the next time you get the urge to buy more instead of doing laundry, I want you to stop, hammer time, stop doing that and start doing this. Stop buying the clothes and start doing the laundry. You don't have to do all of it, but whatever you thought you were going to go out and buy, why don't you dig through your pile of clothes and pull out all the underpants. Do a load of just underpants, and then you'll see how much you have and how many you have and what condition they are, stuff like that there. Okay? Kim is offering, pretty sure I have ADHD but not diagnosed. Yep, a lot of us have it. I think many brains have it, and sometimes it gets better and sometimes it becomes more apparent when you age. Okay? Fluid says, have you tried the app Neptune? I'm thinking about it, but I have not. Somebody else said something about Clapper. This is why, again, I say to you, instead of me saying, go here, oh no, I'm not going to be there, here, there, I say get on my mailing list, destinationdecluttered.com. Go to the mailing list thing, fill it out. Wicked easy. Just you put your email address in a form and you hit I am not a robot and you're good. Okay. Okay. What else? I love it. Lots of people are thinking like me, Beth. Good. Yes. You know? Yeah, okay. Wicked easy. 1963. What a great year. My YouTube channel is Destination Decluttered. You're going to see a picture of this face right here so you know in the right place. Okay? Yeah. There we go. Okay, Trey says you're going to be a beta tester for Neptune. Yeah. So yes, no, we are not alone. This is the thing, that the banning of TikTok may feel like you are, and this is what came up for me. I'll be very sincere and transparent with you. When I woke up this morning, I felt despondent and crappy and fearful. Even me, yes, even me. I show up with such a brave face. But I wasn't feeling good this morning. I was like, there's been a lot of effing stuff going on in 2025, and I can only handle so much. But what I did was I coached myself. Those of you who have worked with me, guess what I did? I took a piece of paper, I folded it in half, and I downloaded all the unhelpful thoughts onto one side. I then really just asked myself, is that really true? Does that have to be true? I created a better way of thinking about the exact same thing. But I realize a lot of this is about abandonment, about being alone, about not being a part of a community and not being able to find your people. Now, if that does not sound like something that can trigger a caveman or people from a primate-based, you know what I mean, like way back in the day, we still have that in us. We are a pack animal. We work better together. Babies left alone in the wilderness will die. We need each other for survival. So do not underestimate if you are reacting about TikTok going away. It's like you're losing a community. It's like you're losing neighbors and friends. Just because it's through the internet does not make it any less real. Okay? Okay. All right. Yeah. So here, I'm going to back up with things. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. See, this is nice. User 9410 says, I have each day last week, but not today yet. Okay. And thank you for how you asked. Yes, notice the difference. The way you speak to yourself and others can elicit the response you want. If you are judgy with somebody, like somebody just said about asked a spouse if we could commit to at least one item each per week to donate or throw, I love that. I love how you're asking low and slow. One item a week. Just one item you, one item me. Better to start small and just start than raise the bar too high and be like not doing it. Sorry, I totally lost my train of thought there. But notice when you're asking. Seriously, you guys? It's so funny. I'm like looking around as if he's still here. And no, that's not my spouse. That's Pee-wee. Right? I'll let him be in the background. How your tone of voice is. What you ask and the energy behind it can increase the likelihood you get what you want or decrease the likelihood of you getting what you want. If you're all judgy and bitchy, and I totally am that way sometimes. I totally am. My husband is such a saint. He is. He is so patient. But I got to catch myself. But I often thank him for the things he has done. I notice and appreciate what he's done to encourage him to do more, and he does. So notice how you talk to other people and how you talk to yourself can affect the result you get. Okay? Well, I love this. User 9410 says, cleaning my mom that passed home forced me to make a lot of decisions, so I'm keeping it going in my home. Yes, decluttering is decision making. Decision making. And one of the things many of us do when we have to clean out somebody else's stuff is, I never want to do this again, and I never want to put this burden on somebody else because this was such a big use of my time. Now, 80s Girl says, do you believe, it goes, do you believe grief and trying to declutter goes hand in hand? Sometimes. Doesn't have to. Does not have to, but it can. I think decluttering happens when you get to the point where you're full, when you're over full, and you don't like how things are and you want to change them. Okay? Yeah. Maria says, hi, you just started or am I late? There is no late here, my dear. There's just, here, you've got a half an hour. I started at 3 p.m. Eastern. Remember this about me. This week may be the last time I do TikTok Lives, but I have a wicked lot of them. Maria, are you on my mailing list? The schedule has been updated. And if you're not, get on the mailing list at destinationdeclutter.com, okay? I always start at top of the hour. It just makes it easier for me to keep track, okay? Now, B is asking, with your decluttering services, can you help donate to the LA fire victims? I'm in Santa Monica. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. I don't want to overpromise and underprovide. There are resources there out for you, okay? There are resources. And when I find some good ones, I will share, okay? No, I love this. Anastasia says, I did find a t-shirt that said Palm Springs. I put it in the cart, and then I put it back, but I picked it because I thought of you. Yes, feel free. Please do not buy anything that reminds, like you can hang on to it. Hang on to it in your cart, your digital cart, or like when you're walking around Target, and then abandon the cart. You don't need that stuff. But thank you for thinking of me. Now this is interesting. Strong Silver Soul Sister says, since decluttering, I realized there's no way I can wear nor want to manage all the clothes I wanted. Yeah, I think it would be fun to rent clothing, especially kind of like, what do you call it? Like event clothing. Who wants to? I used to do that. So I used to be in the tiki world, and I used to wear a lot of tiki, bark cloth, muumuus, caftans, vintage clothing. I don't do it anymore, but once I wore it to like an event, I'd be very reticent to wear it again. So I typically just buy fairly non-whatever clothing, very nondescript clothing. But yeah, notice that about yourself. At one point you may want stuff, later on you may want different. Okay? So here's the thing. Let me back up. Gina says, I never get your emails. Okay, hun. So what's up with this? Let me ask you this. First of all, check your spam filter on your end. Second of all, if you don't find it there, email me directly. Here is my email address. Beth at destinationdecluttered, all one word, destinationdecluttered.com. Beth at destinationdecluttered.com. Gina, if you can't find emails, and I sent one out to everybody this morning around 10 a.m. Eastern, if you do not find them, please let me know. There is a spam filter on my end that sometimes blocks people if they bounced too much. And if you give me your email address, I can then look it up on my end and see what the problem is, okay? Now, I love this. 80s girl, very good idea. I wrote down all the times that you're going to be live this week, and I made sure to write it down in Pacific Standard Time. Yes, because I am East Coast. Anytime I try to put things in other time zones, I inevitably F it up. So I figure if I am constant, if you always know that I speak in Eastern, then you, knowing where you are, you can do the pluses or minuses. Okay? Boop. There we go. Oh boy. Okay, saw your emails. Okay, good. Yeah, fewer items accessorizing is more fun. There we go. Okay. So, Moonstar Gazer, this is wicked funny. You're saying, yeah, you mentioned when you get to the point, my family's driving me crazy plus ADHD. Okay. I kind of forget what you said, and I, too, got distracted. What I will offer is ADHD and decluttering. You can change your habits, and one of the habits you may have is being all riled up inside or feeling like kind of that all or nothing. I either have a lot of energy or none. Learning how to manage your energy, and we practice this a lot. Like today, I just did a declutter party, and we practiced kind of, as I like to say, shifting gears. Getting started, driving for a while, and then slowing down. Not necessarily stopping, but just pausing and looking around and then starting again. So I offer to you, notice where your ADHD may be putting you in a sense of all or nothing. Now, I will be honest with you. I do rot on the couch for a while. I do herkle-durkle. I am a slug-a-bed like nobody's business sometimes. I don't judge myself for it, though. It helps me refill my tank, okay? But Moonstar Gazer, let me ask you this. Be more specific. How can I help you with your ADHD and your family driving you crazy? Like, what's a specific thing? Notice, too, everybody, vague questions, vague answers, specifics, more specific answers and help, okay? So, ADHD usually shows up in clutter, with people saying, I don't have time to deal with that now. And then they create doom bags, or they shove things to the side, or they let them pile up. There we go. Okay, Moonstar Gazer. Okay, in our homes, when you get to the point of overwhelm, how you start. Perfect. Okay, this is how I recommend you start. Experiment with this and see how this works. Notice overwhelm. The word overwhelm, okay, has the word over on it. Imagine overwhelm is over your head. And then whenever you feel overwhelmed, notice that feeling of kind of too much. I'm full. I'm overwhelmed. What I want you to do is think the opposite. Calm down. Just think of the word down. Calm down your nervous system. Notice my hands are going from over to down, and they're crossing that invisible line where we tend to feel things. I'm a heart person, so I tend to feel things right here. Calm down, quiet down, slow down. Sit down, breathe down. Drink down some water. Turn down the volume on whatever's going around. Slow down, quiet down. Down-regulate your nervous system. I just read that phrase from one of my coaching teachers, and I was like, oh my God, that's another down I can add to my collection of downs. Down regulating your nervous system create peace. When you feel better, when you're not all up here and all riled up and going, shh. When you're at a nice, neutral place, then that's the place to make decisions and do things. And how I highly recommend you do that is to chunk down whatever you are overwhelmed by. So pick a topic, any topic. Is it dishes? Is it laundry? Whatever, however you declutter one category, you will use the same process to declutter another category. And that is going to be writing it down and chunking it down. Okay, writing down and chunking down. And writing and chunking and writing and calming and quieting all the downs. Okay, so Moon Star Gazer, notice this. Yeah. Okay, quiet down, slow down. And here's a fun thing that I like to say just to mix, because I never read downs, could be so up. You know, these are great cues. Yes, so many downs. Simmer down now. When you are simmered down, then you're here. You're in a nice neutral place, and then you can decide from the part of your brain that's not fight or flight. You can decide what to do and how you want to do it based on the better part of your brain that's a little bit more aware and less freaked out and fearful. Yes, deep breaths down into the bottom of your lungs, right? And then what I offer too, though, is this is fun, is when I say write it down. What do I mean by write down? I say basically, again, this is another one, get your thoughts down from your head, out of your head, down onto paper. And yet I often say whatever comes up, write it down, because your brain and your body, your head and your heart are where your decisions are made. So write down what you want to change so you don't keep it up here. Trying to keep everything in your head is like trying to cram too many things into a messy junk drawer. Your junk drawer, your mental junk drawer is already full, and you don't even know what's up there. So dump it out and organize it, and do it often so you know what's in there. There we go. 80s Girl Forever says my two closest friends, pen and paper. Yep, me too. Actually, it's funny. I thought I had brought my notebook in here. Oh well. I hope that helps. Grandmama Nashwell says I love you. I was like, thank you. Those are tools in your toolkit. We are here in a car. You currently very simply, and without judgment, you currently don't have some skills that could enable you to be a better declutterer. I show up as your your driving instructor to show you how to shift a car that is a standard shift, to parallel park, to do things that would make you a better driver. Okay? Hey, Vicky, nice to see you. Good to see you, my dear. She says, I just completed sessions with Beth. Yes, I do one-on-one coaching with people. She says, I just completed sessions with Beth. Writing things down was key to my success. I love hearing that, because what I don't want to do, here's how it goes. I find what works for me, and then I experiment, kind of beta testing. I ask people, hey, this worked for me. Does it work for you? And sometimes people say yes, and I keep that in my toolkit. Other times people say no, and I say, well, how could we customize this for you? And other times people say, well, that didn't work, but you know it worked for me. And I say, oh, good to know. And then I add it to my toolkit. My coaching toolkit is always evolving to be the best possible toolkit. If I find a more sharp, I almost said a sharp hammer. That would make no sense. If I find a sharper knife, if I find a sharper saw, a tool that makes my job easier, I will use that and replace one that was more dull. So you currently, if you are struggling with clutter, it can be as simple as you just are lacking a few skills that you were not taught. There's no shame, there's no judgment. You just don't know how to do it yet. You wouldn't judge yourself if you were 7 years old. Would you be beating yourself up for not knowing how to drive an automobile? Okay? Probably not. So don't beat up your today self for the fact that nobody taught you a good way to declutter and keep that way. I'm here to teach it to you. And man, oh manischewitz, I'm going to be on TikTok so much this week for my fear of it going away that I'm going to be here for you to help you teach this. Also, if you do want me to be one-on-one, like, I totally can do that too. That's on my website as well. Now, this is interesting. Carla Jane says, I went the route of typing it, and then I went to the writing. And I absolutely agree, writing makes such a difference. Yes, so I have a theory about this, and I'll share it with you. And I will also show you when I do type as opposed to write. Okay? Okay. What I will say is, writing is another way that slows down your thinking, because your brain and your thinker has to slow down to the pace of your writing. This is why sometimes, like this morning, for example, I did type what I was doing because I am not a very good typist. So my typing is pretty slow. So it allowed me the time to do that. So I highly recommend practicing with both because it slows down your thinking so it absorbs and you can hear yourself think. You're not you're saying, shh, slow down, I gotta write this down, okay? Now, Gina says, see, my mom never was a clutter person, so I don't know where I get it from. You maybe get it for the fact that your mom was not a clutter person. The people who find things easy and organic to them sometimes infer that it's easy and organic for everybody. And so they don't teach you because they assume you should know how to do this, much like they do. Okay? So get curious. Gina, look back in your rearview mirror and say, did my mom ever teach me how to declutter? Or did she do it for me and for us so I never even learned the skills? Okay? So notice these things about your story. My parents didn't teach me how to declutter kind of properly or efficiently or sustainably because they didn't know how to do it themselves. Now it's funny because one of my grandmother's houses was very neat and tidy, but man, did she have a shed and an attic and a basement chock-a-block full of stuff. So even if it looks good on the surface, sometimes if you open up a door or a drawer, what I call stored clutter, because it rhymes, doors and drawers and stored, you would find that that person also has a hard time removing items they don't need. Okay? Now, 80s Girl Forever says, my parents were from the silent generation. Mine too. My dad especially was a clutter bug. Mine too. Actually, both of my parents, and they used to kind of blame each other. They grew up, silent generation, my family's silent generation, grew up directly affected by people who started out poor anyway, and then the Great Depression happened. So they knew what it was like to not have a lot. So whenever they got something, they were holding on to it for dear life because you may not get this again. That kind of thinking of lack and clinging is a survival skill. And so it's really hard to unwire it unless you work at it. Okay? Now, Loving Life says, I'm decluttering as we speak. I love when people declutter when I'm doing a TikTok live. I will be doing so many TikTok lives this week, you guys, that if you declutter every time I show up, by next week, your house is going to look awesome. But I will share this with you. When you declutter when I'm doing a TikTok live, it's possible. I personally think decluttering while somebody's talking with me is the surface clutter. I can totally do surface clutter. But when I get one level deeper and I have to decide on stuff, that's when I need quiet to decide. Because I need to hear myself think to say, do I want this or do I not want this? But yay, use this time I have scheduled for TikTok lives this week to declutter. I will share with you, because I have a fear that TikTok is going away, I am showing up literally 4 or 5 times a day, every day this week, except for Friday because I leave for the airport at like 1 o'clock. And then I'm gone next week. So if you want to declutter, if you want to make a date with yourself and say, every time Beth does a Destination Decluttered TikTok live, I'm going to show up and declutter something, whether it's seriously, who was it? I forget. I think it was Anastasia or somebody who let who was buying the clothes and not doing the laundry. Oh my God, you start doing laundry on this TikTok live. I have 2 more today. Okay, I have two more. Your laundry will be done by tomorrow morning, practically, if you do the laundry along with me. And I'll keep you company. I have fun. Okay? Now, Moonstar Gazer. Oh, it just zoomed again. Okay. Boop-de-boop. Here we go. I love it. Strong Silver Soul Sister said we're de-Christmasizing right now. We did that yesterday after my TikTok live. Yeah. Yeah, and Moonstar Gazer, in decluttering, I get to the point of being pushed to limits. It's hard to pick where to start. Doesn't matter where you start. Doesn't matter where you start, just as long as you start. Start where it feels easiest. Any clutter you decide on is going to be a valuable place to start. Start with surface clutter. Start with what is truly trash. Start with the stuff that's a no-brainer that you know you don't want and you can easily get it out of your home. Start with the stuff that you love so much that you would never get rid of it, but that's a real strong feeling. And then notice what's in between the definitely don't want it and I definitely want it is going to be a middle ground of yellow, what I call your internal traffic signal. You've got green, yellow, and red. Red is like poop. You get rid of it easily, hopefully. Green is something you love. It draws you to it. It's like a green light magnet, all sorts of good stuff. Yellow is, I don't know. We have them all three. Yeah. Shell's mom threw everything else out. Judy didn't teach them at all. Yep. I love this. Mignon said, I just accomplished so many things just listening to you. I love that. I am glad to know that my time here is being well spent and it's helping somebody else. It's the only reason I show up here. If I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be scrolling on TikTok, finding even more places I want a vacation. You know? There you go. So now this is an insight, isn't it? Anastasia is saying, I just realized I don't remember laundry as a kid. My mother took me shopping all the time. Is it any surprise that you go shopping and you don't really know how to do laundry? Notice these things. Yeah, 80s girl says, my dad's parents from the old country in Sicily, so I understand why they held on to it all. My family was from the old country in Ireland. Same diff. Same thing. You know? User 1963 says, I miss the ability of organized storage. Attic, basement, walk-in, pantry, and garage. Now live in a rental. Yeah. Yeah. What was I going to say about that? When you live in a rental, there's very little storage. It's funny. I remember the first apartment I rented with my first husband and converting a closet, like a coat closet, into one with shelves because I already was collecting so much stuff. Living in a small area with minimal storage causes you to really curate your collection, to really decide what's the bare minimum that I need. If you had more space, you might collect more things, but finding a number, and that does kind of be unfortunate, but I don't think it's such a bad thing. I find I am so much happier with fewer items and smaller spaces. It's so much easier to maintain. Okay. I love this. Hey, Sconson says, getting new bedroom furniture that's smaller than before. Donated 6 bags between hubby and I. Awesome. Awesome. Good stuff. All right. Oops. Yeah, Judy says, my mom did all the laundry till I got my first job at 22. I'm terrible with laundry. The good news is, you guys, laundry, it's really hard to F it up. It really is. Nobody has to have a degree in laundry. Throw it in there, throw in some soap, put it in the dryer, kind of fold it, you're done. Set the bar really low. Okay? Judy, you can get better at laundry. You don't have to be the laundry queen. Look at how dark it's getting, huh? This is crazy. I've been talking for almost an hour, and I have 2 more TikTok lives to do today. They will be in different rooms, though, and the lights will be on because it's going to get dark in like whatever minutes. Okay? I love this. Krug says, just put together a box to donate in a bag of trash. Thanks for the motivation. Thanks for the gumball, Popeye. Yeah. Okay, user 1963 has four of 6 kids in college and grad school, so storing their things for now, too. Yeah, talk to them about that stuff. Start to make a plan. Remind them that you know that their stuff is there. Okay? Oh, Chris Starr is offering, this could be a thing. Drop off your laundry. It's not as expensive as you think. That could be a thing. Play around with that idea. See if that works. No, Anastasia is saying, I'm running out of hangers. Here's the crazy thing. I have decluttered our clothes so much that I have like a thing like this long hanging up down basement of just hangers. I'll doubt if I ever use them, but they're there in case we do. Okay. Never thought about it. Mom wouldn't let me do laundry, says Carla Jane. Yeah, you see, here's the funny thing. My mom made us do laundry. I was a Gen Xer, so it was one of these things that she wanted us to be independent, and she probably didn't want to do laundry either. So I was doing my laundry from the time I was in grade school. So I don't particularly enjoy it. I'm not particularly great at it, but it gets done. You know? Okay? There we go. Erin Mulcahy Dunn folded and put away all my clothes during this live. All right? So how about this? I will share with you. I like to share. I am doing another TikTok live at 6 o'clock tonight, 6 o'clock Eastern. Look at your schedule, either if it's written down or up here. What are you doing at 6 o'clock Eastern today? Judy, you want to do some laundry together? I'll put in a load of laundry while you're doing it. I'll totally put some laundry in. Heck, maybe I'll even put some laundry in and then right now, and I might be able to even fold it between 6 and 7. You want to do laundry together? Anybody? You want to declutter together at 6 from 6 to 7? I'm going to be here at TikTok. I can totally hang out with you if you want to do that. But here's what I'm saying is notice what I'm doing. I'm saying, what's your schedule for today? Do you want to commit to being available at 6 to 7 while I'm doing TikTok Live? Now, I also am going to do, and I will give you a little glimpse into the future. Tonight, this is going to be funny because I am not a night owl. I promised I would do one at 9 p.m. Eastern because I want to be available for as many new people as possible and in as many time zones. So maybe 6 p.m. East or 6 p.m., 9 p.m. Eastern works better for you because you're in a different time zone. I will show up for you and look at what some people have done. They have decluttered while I've just been chatting here. If that feels like it might help for you, experiment with it. Pick something you want to declutter between 6 and 7 Eastern and show up. I'll be in another room. I don't know what room, but I'll figure it out. Okay? Does this sound like fun? I like to have fun and get stuff done. Okay? Chris Starr is saying, I will clean my office from 6 to 7. I love it. 9 p.m. is when we're finishing dinner dishes. There we go. And there we go. Maria's going to continue with the paper shredding. There we go. So all sorts of good stuff. I love it. My daughter's Girl Scout leader insisted the girls learn to do the laundry, so it forced us parents. I love it. Trudy's going to take down my Christmas tree. I have 3 of them. Anastasia threw all the new clothes in with the old in the pile. Okay. If that works for you, do that. What do you, all sorts of good stuff. 80s Girl is excited for the multiple live streams. Yeah. And I will share with you the reason I'm doing this. Okay. This is a lesson I want you to learn. I woke up this morning feeling overwhelmed, discouraged, and lamenting and despondent over so many things. I cannot control a lot of things, but what I can control is how I think, how I feel, and how I act. And I decided after quieting down my backseat drivers and deciding something else is I will show up now more than ever. I am not going to say goodbye to TikTok until TikTok is officially gone. And if this is the only time we have together on TikTok, then I'm going to show up so many times this week because we may never pass this way again. We may never be able to easily connect as we do now, so I do not take this for granted. I appreciate the current connection we have for TikTok, and I'm going to use that connection for all it's worth to help you with your clutter now, to reinforce that if TikTok goes dark, maybe you want to be on my mailing list. And also, please, if you know people who are struggling with clutter, let them know about Destination Decluttered. I will be on YouTube. I have a website, destinationdecluttered.com. Signing up for the mailing list is a wonderful thing to get started with, okay? But I am showing up for you. Now it's your turn to show up for you. So 6 p.m. Eastern, I will be back till 7, and then 9 till 10. I will be in my pajamas, okay? If you have the time and you want to do it and you want to declutter, hang out with me, okay? Spread the word, okay? I am totally Eastern time. Yep. All right, all sorts of good stuff. Okay, peace on earth. I'm going to miss you if TikTok get banned. I can't, you can come to terms with the breakup. Nothing lasts forever, people. But I am not leaving just because TikTok is leaving. You can still hang out with me. Just get on my freaking mailing list, okay? Okay. So, there we go. And see, Christine, I was thinking of you with the PM TikTok lives. Anastasia says YouTube isn't like this. It's kind of, but it's not. It's different. It's different. I am Eastern time zone. Here I am. Okay. I am Eastern. I'm wicked Eastern. Okay. Did you get that, Trudy? Okay, Judy, I'll see you at 6. And, all right. There we go. I'm on it. I'm an OG. I love the OGs. Okay, you guys. This was fun. Let's do it again in a couple hours, okay?